Six Flags Magic Mountain in California has a total of 19 roller coasters, which is just mind-boggling. Today I'll be ranking the 10 best coasters at this park, so you'll know what to hit up if you have a limited amount of time. But first, welcome to 808 Coaster Life. If you're new to this channel and you love roller coasters and other theme park related stuff, please consider subscribing. I think it's important to know when I went to this park because like every major amusement park, it is constantly evolving. So I went in 2023 and I rode every coaster there except for 2 kiddie coasters. This means that whatever first of its kind in North America attraction they're cooking up for 2026 won't appear in this list. This also means that there's one defunct coaster that'll appear on this list. This park has 19 roller coasters, so unfortunately some good ones are gonna have to get kicked off of this list, which kind of sucks because I believe Magic Mountain has no bad major coaster. And keep in mind, this is my opinion, so not everyone's gonna agree with this, but this is what I found to be my personal favorites at this park. Speaking of hard decisions, the number 10 spot was pretty difficult to decide, but here's what I landed on. At number 10, I have West Coast Racers. This is a very enjoyable and long coaster, and it's great for people ready to take on something bigger than a family coaster. The high five element at the start of the ride has nice whip to it, and the figure 8 was pretty intense. Like others, I wasn't the biggest fan of the comfort collars. These are leather-like straps that kind of levitate above your shoulders, so in my experience, they never actually touched my shoulders, but the trains are already pretty cramped, and what ended up happening was on quick transitions, my neck would hit the comfort collar, which didn't hurt, but I would be lying if I said it wasn't annoying. This was most noticeable on the high five element right after the first launch. It's not a deal breaker for me personally, but it was noticeable, and I think if the ride didn't appeal to first time thrill seekers, I don't think it should have them. While I wasn't as impressed as other people, I still think this is a very enjoyable ride suitable for many people. I also only rode it once due to many breakdowns, so maybe a second ride on it might change my opinion a little bit. And unlike a certain ride we'll talk about, this ride always duels and it is masterfully done. There are so many interactions where I tried watching the other train as my train went through its own maneuvers. At number 9, I have Superman Escape from Krypton. This is the only defunct coaster on this list, and it's also the tallest coaster I've ridden to date at 415 feet, although you'll never reach that height due to hopefully obvious reasons. I only experienced it once going forward, and it's actually crazy going 100 miles per hour in the front row with the wind all over your face. It's not an intense launch by any means, but the speed alone makes it very memorable. I felt like my cheeks were pulled back like you may have seen in some King Ka or Formula Rosa POVs. That being said, I probably would have preferred this ride backwards because I wasn't able to see how high I was since I was facing up. The sun was also in my face, so that didn't help. Yes, I'm pretty sad this ride is now defunct, but it was notoriously unreliable, and as you can tell by this placement, there are better rides in this park in my opinion. Speaking of which, for number 8, I chose Viper. For those of you who don't know, the company who made this, Aerodynamics, didn't usually make rides with 7 inversions, but they did end up making 3, and 2 of them closed down, making this the only remaining Aero, quote, mega looper. For a while, this coaster was poorly received due to roughness and headbanging, but it recently received some TLC with the goal of making the ride smoother and more enjoyable, and whatever they did to that ride worked, because this ride was smoother than I expected, and there were only a few moments of potential headbanging. The layout includes 3 vertical loops that absolutely pin you to your seat, meanwhile the later inversions make you weightless. Not to mention, the drop was also pretty fun. I may have liked it because the shoulder restraints were pretty low on me, so it was impossible to get headbanging, and I never noticed it cutting into my neck at all. Overall, I was quite impressed, especially for its age. And at number 7, I have Batman the Ride. This is the first Batman clone I've ever done, and is definitely the most intense invert I've ever ridden. It's very forceful, and it held its intensity throughout the entire ride. I even grayed out on the upward helix in the middle of the ride. My personal favorite parts were the whippy inversions, so the 0G roll and the corkscrews, which apparently are called flat spins. Does anyone actually know the difference? This ride is also very smooth for its age. While I prefer rides with a little more variety in forces, I can't deny this ride is intense, and if you love positive G's, you better not skip this one if you're at this park. Unless it's closed somehow. At number 6, I have Apocalypse. This wooden coaster also has very good pacing, maybe besides the finale, but even that I thought ran better than expected. And it has pretty intense laterals and quick transitions. The small airtime hills provide nice floater airtime, and I enjoyed going through the tunnels and station flyby. It really ups the energy of this ride. Out of the operating GCIs I've been on, this is probably the roughest one, but I was able to tolerate it. Just be prepared for a wild ride. And fun fact, this is about neck and neck in my rankings to the next coaster on my list, which is Full Throttle. As the best launch coaster in this park, this ride has, well, 2 fun launches. The first launch is fun because the ride up likes to tease the riders before launching them by surprise.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And the second one's cool because you first get launched backwards up the dive loop you just came from, and then you go forward to complete the launch. Going backwards up the dive loop was fun, but the real hang time moment was the first loop. Once the world's tallest vertical loop, I'd say this loop is the longest hang time moment on a ride I've experienced. To add to that, there's only lap bars and shin guards. Definitely don't ride this ride if you're scared of going upside down. While the trims on the final drop kind of ruined what is an otherwise fun attraction, the drop still had some awesome ejector airtime if you're in the back row. And this ride is also butter smooth, even after 10 years. Before we go on, as of summer 2025, I have made full reviews of all of the coasters placed higher than this point, so feel free to check those out if you want to hear my full thoughts on them. What I want to know is, do you want to see a review of any coaster placed below this point on this list? If so, feel free to drop a comment. At number 4, I have Tatsu. This ride does a very good job at simulating flying, and it's super smooth with some comfortable trains. The first half had fun inversions, turns, and a nice sensation of speed, but the pretzel loop in the middle of the ride is super intense. I found it kind of weird how the ride switched personalities in just one element. I wish the rest of the ride was more intense, but this is definitely still a must-do if you go to this park. Placed at number 3 is Wonder Woman Flight of Courage. This is the first RMC and first single rail coaster I've ever ridden, and I was surprised by its combination of dynamic inversions, intense turns, and strong airtime hills. The camelback, first drop, and first turnaround especially were standout elements. It's quite a long ride considering the model, and it's very re-rideable. Single file seating added to the experience, and no, it is not because I'm like antisocial or something like that. There's just something peculiar about experiencing a ride on your own with no one next to you. At number 2, I have Twisted Colossus. If you like airtime, this is the ride for you. Some standout airtime moments include the first drop, the second drop on the blue side, and the outer bank near the middle of the ride. It's got some low-key whippy inversions, including the Top Gun stall and the 0G roll on the blue side. It's also super smooth too. Because of the way this ride is set up, it almost never duels, and it didn't duel at all on my rides, but I was already expecting that, so it didn't disappoint me. Despite that, it is still my favorite RMC as of 2025. And now, without further ado, here are some honorable mentions. Finally, at number 1, I have X2. This is a 4th dimensional coaster, meaning you're seated on wing seats that are able to flip 360 degrees. It may not be everyone's favorite, but it is the most insane ride at Magic Mountain, and for a while, the most insane ride I've ever done. This still has the best first drop of any coaster I've experienced, and yes, that does include its Japanese sibling. You are face down and drop nearly vertical until at the last moment you do a front flip, and the rest of the elements are very disorienting. This ride has a dead spot in the middle, and it's not the smoothest ride out there, but still very intense and one of the most unique coasters in the world. If you want to know what my visit to Six Flags Magic Mountain was like, you can check out the card up there and consider checking out the second part to this vlog, which is the 25-minute one if you're wondering. Let me know down in the comments if you have ever visited this park, and if so, how would you rank the coasters there? Are there any others that deserve a spot in the top 10? If you enjoyed this video, feel free to let me know by leaving a like on this video and maybe even subscribe. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.